Good morning. Good morning. So today we're doing 7 lessons I've learned during my 20s. I'm actually 28 years old, okay? But I'm gonna I know I'm a scam, but I'm gonna be turning 29 in 2 months. And also you gotta understand that, when you reach the end of the 20s, there is a lot of wisdom coming in. So it's like I can't do that. I'm allowed to start like the reflection process of my 20s. And I think we're just gonna do that like all along the way up to the 30s. I really need to learn how to do that fucking flower. I try every fucking time, but I never look at how we do it. Now that we have the coffee, we can start. The very first lesson I've learned is that I cannot do it on my own. I refused to learn from others because I was scared, first of all, and I was insecure. I was scared of learning and I didn't trust enough others and the world to like put myself vulnerable enough. And I guess this is something that I'm learning more and more. I'm still struggling so much with this vulnerability in my creativity and in who I want to be, even in a job, in who I want to be truly is very hard for me because growing up as a gay teenager, facing a lot of rejection in my surroundings and people around me, my family, friends and stuff like that, facing a lot of rejection in my teenage years, just developed that thing inside of me that I just don't trust easily. I just don't trust. It's very hard for me to trust, and that's why every time I record a fucking video, it's so much, but like my goal is to be more and more vulnerable every time because it is a learning and it is growing. So, I feel like I'm more willing to put myself vulnerable than before, but I'm not quite there yet where I can like ask for help, and I wish I could get there, but that's the first little evolution from my 20s. Like I deeply know I cannot do it on my own. Number 2, avoiding my own emotions. I think when I was at the beginning of my 20s, I was so avoiding my emotions. So when I talk about negative emotions, I'm talking about frustration, I'm talking about feeling of rejection, I'm talking about feeling of sadness, of insecurities, of not being enough and stuff. We need to sit with that shit in silence. And we need to face it, like we need to look at it in the eyes, and we just need to listen to it because there is wisdom in this. Like an insecurity is never an insecurity. I hate when people are like, you just don't trust yourself enough. Like I know it. It's deeper than that, You might realize that you don't trust yourself because of like mechanism that happened during your teenage years or during your childhood, or maybe your parents didn't give you enough attention. It can be whatever it is, but I think these things never get solved by moving more. You will never solve your sadness or your insecurity by moving more, by, let's say you have problem with your body image, by doing a big diet and losing 20 pounds. That will never change it. It's deeper, and it comes from a mechanism that happens in your subconscious mind. And to hear the subconscious mind, it requires silence, and it requires like time. And I think facing our emotions is facing that thing that, even though we build so many things as human beings, even though we build like crazy powerful cities, crazy engines and cars and Teslas and airplanes, we still don't get that. We still don't understand the human being. We still don't understand the psychology of it. We still don't understand what happened. Why are we like so fucked up all the time? And I think at the end of my 20s, I actually accepted that I have to sit with that, and I'm facing it a little bit more. It's not about losing your insecurities, or it's not about losing your sadness. It's about better cooperating with it. Because at the moment you understand that your negative emotions are here to serve you, things start to change. Okay, I need to start working and stuff. But the third lesson coming, I'm gonna take a break in like 2 hours. We are ready for the third lesson from my 20s, learning how to stop emotionally spending money. And I think especially when we're younger, we have this tendency of thinking very short term. In a way, it's very funny because during my teenage years, with everything that I told you about before, I didn't imagine myself being in my 20s or in my 30s or 40s. My reality and my life was so hard, you know, like the day-to-day was so hard that I never really envisioned myself growing old, and never I could have imagined that I would have a life with such a stability. So it's like I never planned my future. So it's like even when I chose what I would study at university, was just about like next step, next step, next step. But I never had like the long-term vision, you know what I mean? And I think I do the same with money. I don't think about tomorrow. Having this very short-term mindset is the worst for a financial stability. Like if you want financial stability, you need to save, you know, 20, maybe 30% of your earnings if you can. You need to make like smart investments. To me, it's a very difficult concept to digest. I've always seen money as a day-to-day thing. If I want to spend like, I don't know, $50 to have food with someone that I love, I'm just gonna do it, you know? And I love that about me. But at the same time, doing that too much became kind of a nightmare and started make me feel a bit stuck. Getting 9-to-5 jobs as well, which was a pretty big nightmare for me, especially at the beginning. It's much better now, but like I feel very stuck. I can feel very stuck in this reality and feeling like I don't have much time and freedom to actually be. So like escaping to me comes with spending. And I think I'm evolving on this because I'm a bit more aware. So probably that I'm like, more often I will be like, okay, Miguel, let's have a meeting about your money. Let's think about what you spent. And I always kind of have in mind what I'm spending. I know a little bit, but I always go off budget. And so I've learned, I can say that I've learned that lesson from my 20s, but that's going to be a point in which I let myself this year that I have left in my 20s to figure that out. If I have to figure it out, maybe I will never figure it out. Maybe that's a forever thing. And guess what? Like there is worse in life. As long as I'm healthy and I can support my needs and like take care of people I love around me, you know what? Is it such a bad thing? Over relying on love for balance and happiness. I spent most of my 20s in relationships. I had 3 relationships in my 20s, lasted around 2 years each. Now that I've been single for 2 months, I can look at the past and be like, so much of my like energy I dedicated it to my relationships, thinking that I was in the right relationship every time and that would be the thing. No, I was working so much on like building security in the relationship, building trust, building stuff, and comes out that these 3 relationships didn't work out. And you know, it's interesting because as much as it shouldn't be a reason for us not to try love. Love is beautiful, love is super important, and don't get me wrong, a lot of the things that I've learned in my 20s are thanks to my relationships that I had. But at the same time, it's like love is just unreliable. Like we don't know. It's something that is so emotion based, so based on like feelings, on it's so complex. Love is just so complex. It's hard to put all of our hopes in it. We need to build balance. And again, I'm not saying that we shouldn't invest in love, but I just think that there is the right balance. I think we need to be stable by ourselves first before getting involved in a relationship, because otherwise all these wounds just like trigger and it becomes a nightmare. Have you ever, I don't know if you've been through that, but me, for example, I know that when I'm super insecure, it hurts so much to be in a relationship when I'm insecure, because it's like I spend most of my days being afraid of losing the person or being rejected, and that is actually harder than being by myself. It's actually harder than just facing myself, being single and like working on my shit. So I just think that there is so many things that we need to work on ourselves before being fully ready to be in relationships, or even like remotely ready, because we're never truly ready, right? But I think it's super important to have that time and that space and that attention to ourselves before getting into this, and to be in the right mindset and to be in a relationship for the right reason with the right person. All of these things take so much work to align. It's super hard, you know, and it takes time, and we're not here forever and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. If we can find balance, at least remotely by ourselves, a little bit, and then after that we can like invest a bit more time and energy in love. It's better. But now I want to invest most of my time and energy in myself, in my future, in building security. So it's going to be spending time with my friends that are amazing. My friends, if you're watching that, I love you guys. You guys are the best friends. Spending time on my art, creativity, what I want to do, building security, trying to find balance, you know, trying to stop avoiding myself. Again, a relationship can be an avoidance pattern. Like being in a relationship can be a great way to stop focusing on your own problems and your own wounds. I know I can do that sometimes. I'm in a relationship and instead of being like, it doesn't work, I break up, I'm so afraid of facing myself that I'm just going to work so much on the relationship and be like, I focus on their problems, you know, because it helps me not focusing on mine. And I think that's something that we should be avoiding as much as we can, as much as I don't want to give like life lesson. So yeah, over relying on love. Love is unstable, love is unreliable, but love is also one of the most beautiful things ever. So we should give it this place that it deserves, which is a bonus in life. It's a bonus. It's something additional. It's something that is there to bring a bit of hugs and delicateness, but it shouldn't be the base of our balance. I mean, from my little experience, and I'm 28, okay, so I'm not there yet, so I don't know. I'm still figuring that out, and of course I'm being biased by my own breakup and what I'm going through, but yeah. I don't think I want to rely on love as much as I used to. Love is good, love is beautiful, love is important, but love is not everything at all. Alright, it's 5:30. It's time to close. Oh no, let me close my tabs because I keep forgetting to close my tabs. And then the day after, when I get connected, like my computer is slow. So it's like, I know it has something to do with that. I think it's literally the universe telling me that I need to close my computer. I'm turning it off. It's off. It's off. It's done. It's done. End of the day. Expecting others to give me attention. What a little bitch I used to be. I used to believe that I deserved to get attention and like be listened to and to, yeah. Yeah, I think when I was younger, I just thought like I just wanted to receive, and I think it's super usual. Like a lot of people do that. It's, you know, being young, you expect to be receiving only. But the more I grew up, the more I realized that, first of all, that's not really the nice way to say it, but the best way to receive is actually to give. And then actually giving is as fulfilling as receiving, and it should be a balance. It's exactly like being the type of person who's expecting the world to be nice to us, but treating other people like bitches, you know? It's like, no. If you want the world to be nice to you, you gotta be nice first. And always try as much as you can to expect the best from others. And what you see is that when you put out the best intention in your behavior, generally, I don't know what is that magic, but you receive a lot of love and care from other people. And that I've been realizing a lot these past couple years. Like, the more I'm nice to people, the more people are nice to me. But it's like, it's deeper than just like science. It's like, it's the energy of people as well. Like, when you expect the best from other people and you just, every person you meet, you give them love. Love is a big word, but attention, respect. Generally, I don't know what is that magic, but people tend to give that same respect to you. Let's go to the G. Lesson number 6, expecting anything to last forever. If there is one thing that I really realize, it's that it's impossible to stay the same person, to keep the exact same values forever. And actually, we don't even want that. It's not what a proper life should be like, in my opinion. Like, we shouldn't stay the same. We should constantly evolve. And I think the more time flies, the more I realize that each day makes me a new person. Each conversation changes me. Each person that I talk to changes me, make me realize some things that I didn't realize before. And I think this is like the number one rule about life. Things change. Our opinion changes. Like people come and go in our lives. Nothing is ever the same. And I don't see it necessarily as such a bad thing. I think we just need to stop being so attached to everything. It's also because in the society we live in, we're really trying to over define everything. We're always being asked to over identify who we are, what we want to do. Like, think about the fact that when we were like 5, 6 years old, or even like 7, 8 years old, we're being asked what we want to do when we will grow up, when we will be adults. But how crazy is that concept? Like, how am I supposed to know when I'm 8 years old what I want to become when I will be 20? I actually don't even know what I want to do tomorrow. I don't know what job I want to have in 3 years. And I think so many times in my life, especially as a creative, I've been trying to convey with a certain image of myself. For example, I play music. I've been playing music for my entire life. But music is just not it professionally. It just doesn't work for me. And everybody has been asking me, Miguel, like, when are you dropping the songs on Spotify? When are you doing that? And I'm like, sometimes I do it, but I think I just do it because I hear it from other people so many times. But it's like, yeah, it's just the idea of accepting that we're not one thing. Sometimes what we want is a bit more complex. Sometimes what we want for the day is different than what we want tomorrow. I might wake up tomorrow, I want to be a musician. I might go to sleep tomorrow night and like realize that I really don't want to be a musician. And I think we should learn how to flow a bit more naturally with these different things, because nothing is ever perfect. We will never feel 100% perfect about something. We will never feel 100% true. We'll never feel 100% happy. I don't think there is such a thing. I think life is constantly imperfect. And in that imperfection, we can find our own version of perfection. That's it. But yeah, long story short, we keep changing all the time. You're not the same that you were when you started watching that video. And I'm glad. That means that I had an impact on you. Hopefully you're not the same person. Same, I'm not the same person. And when I started that video, I've learned a lot of things. And yeah, we should like just replay stuff in life in a bit more in the present and the experience of things, and stop trying to over-identify. This is fear, this is insecurity. The idea of wanting to over-identify who you are, what you represent, your qualities. Same guys, your successes, your failures do not define who you are. We're not defined by successes or failures. Think about the last success you had. I'm pretty sure you already forgot about it. 2 weeks later, it's because that's not it. What you are is a human being, a soul that evolves all the time, that has tendencies. Of course, people have personality traits, but that also can evolve. And we shouldn't over-identify to anything, I believe. Anyways, that's my opinion. That's the wisdom. That's the wisdom in me. End of the 20s, wisdom. We are ready for the very last lesson from the 20s. I'm still in my 20s. I still have a lot to learn, but we're starting that series. We will continue through this last year of my 20s. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have so many revelations. The last lesson so far, embracing the mystery in life. And when I talk about mystery, I'm talking about the unknown. And again, that illusion of control that, you know, we try so much to believe in. We think so much that we have control over everything. We think so much that we have a control over ourselves, over our life, our futures, when everything is so uncertain in life. And I think this is something that I've never been a big control freak, because again, I never had plans in the past. I'm actually learning how to be a bit more of a planner because I need more. I'm not a huge control freak regarding my life and, you know, my future, in the sense that I don't plan, but I do want to avoid so many of the things that could happen to me. I don't want to get fired from my job before my breakup. I didn't want them to break up with me. I know so many things, like thinking that you can control You know, so let's say, for example, you don't want to be rejected, so you're going to be overly stressed, overly anxious over everything in your life. Try to always be the best version of yourself, not because you want to be, but because you're afraid, you know. And I guess I'm learning more and more through time to accept the mystery of life that says that actually, even sometimes when I don't want something and I work my ass off to make sure that it doesn't happen to me, it's gonna happen to me if it has to happen to me. And trust the wisdom in this, because I don't know if you realize that sometimes you're so afraid of something happening to you. Like, let's say, yeah, you don't want your partner to break up with you, and then your partner breaks up with you, and you're like 6 months later you look back and you're like, it was actually a good thing, you know. It's like everything that happens to us happens for a reason, and everything that happens always comes with great things, with challenges. Let's not kid ourselves over here. Like, every hard moment, hardship comes with difficulties for sure, but it also always comes with new opportunities. It's always a form of renaissance. And I think we need to trust the mystery of life. Call it God, call it the universe, call it the sun if you want. You can call it the way you want to call it. That's the reason why so many people are spiritual. It's because it's impossible. It's impossible to control it all. Like how at some point you need to believe in some kind of like authority, that not authority in the bad way, some kind of authority that is taking care of us and that has a bigger plan in mind. I get that. I don't think it is crazy at all. I don't necessarily believe in God. I don't have a God in mind, but I definitely believe in a universe, just because it makes me sleep better at night. It's like, how am I supposed to be in control of that? Like, life is just way too complex to be in control of it. Anyways, so trusting the mystery, trusting the unknown, trusting that everything that happens to us happens for a reason. That comes with hardship, that comes with good things, but that comes for a reason. A reason. That's it, guys. My 7 lessons from my 20s that are not over. Let's go to the gym. If I'm being completely honest with you guys, I had kind of a funky day. Like, my focus was not the best. I did spend a little bit of time on TikTok. You know, it wasn't the best day. I started in a very good mood. I always feel good when I start with you. I always feel in my best mood when I start with you, and then somehow the day goes by and things go sour. Thank you very much for watching that video. I'll see you very soon. If you like it, please let me know in the comment section. Please let me know. I need support. I cannot do it on my own. I need love and support like any other human beings. I'm learning how to ask now, since I didn't know how to do it before, right? Now you have my full life story. Give me some love. Like it, comment it, subscribe it. Sorry, when I'm in my car, it's the only moment in my day when I can shout without being judged, because there is no neighborhood. There are only people looking at me, talking to a camera from outside and thinking I'm crazy. I don't mind. Okay, I stop here. See you guys. Bye-bye.